I'm Rebecca Hong. I'm the Assistant Vice Provost of Educational Effectiveness and Assessment and the WASC Accreditation Liaison Officer at Loyola Marymount University.
And I am Kara Maloney. I'm the Academic Assessment Team Lead in the Center for Educational Effectiveness at the University of California, Davis.
When we're putting together a conference presentation, we wanted to look at culture, language, and then our institutional culture to be specific. I think there's oftentimes a lot of great suggestions in terms of best practices, but I think we wanted to dig a little bit deeper in how we actually implement best practices, or how does that actually intersect with our organizational cultures. And so taking that framework in mind and looking across 3 different campuses with very different backgrounds, organizational structures and cultures, and what that looks like in play when trying to lead in the area of assessment.
And AALHE was the perfect place for us to present our work and then continue to bring those conversations to the conference and then also to the broader community.
Approached by the folks at NIALOA to consider submitting an occasional paper, and this area of equity and assessment, organizational culture, and then what's happening outside of higher education has already been percolating in my mind. I know that we had talked about it in our shared about it in our conference presentation initially at AALHE, and felt like it was such a great place to extend the conversation in light of what was happening in 2020 with the illumination for some groups around Black Lives Matter, around conversations of equity, justice in assessment. And it just felt like the right time and intersection to have that conversation.
That there was space in the group, in AALHE, there were enough people who were thinking about similar things, but hadn't taken the track or the approach that we did, but also it still felt like it was a conversation amongst colleagues, and the response we've gotten since then has been really positive, and a lot of it, people within AALHE saying, "Oh, this is great! I'm so glad that you sort of took this," and it was the beginning, that first presentation, that really helped us. We continue to think about these things. We text each other, "Oh, have you seen this? And this thing's about language and equity, and this one's about culture." And it just felt like there was never going to be an occasion where somebody at AALHE would say, "Yeah, we're just not interested in that," especially given, as Rebecca said, the tumultuous, chaotic world in which we currently live, COVID, and the fractures of our society, which are illuminated again, that for some have always known. But yeah, I think no AALHE. Maybe no Rebecca Kara dynamic writing team. And so I feel very attached to AALHE because it's been a place that I consider my professional home base, and my professional growth often happens as a result of something that either AALHE puts on or that I attend. So,
and I would, I really appreciated the way that Kara had talked about where it invites conversation. And so, many conferences have assessment as one piece or one track for the conference, but AALHE, the entire conversation, not only at the conference, the annual conference, but throughout the year, centers around the multifaceted approaches to assessment or work in the area of assessment. And so the conversation doesn't begin and end at the conference, but extends throughout the year,